Hi everybody, I'm Zach and I like movies, and I just got back from Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, and I approve because they were giving out these posters when you got your ticket. So, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. This is the 10th entry into the Planet of the Apes franchise, and the 4th one following what I think should be called the Caesar trilogy. And I was admittedly a little skeptical about whether or not they should continue this. Especially like post Caesar and post Andy Serkis too. But that was before I went back and watched the original Planet of the Apes movies, and let me tell you, that is a surprisingly consistent franchise. Even at their weakest, or when their budgets were like they're getting thinner and thinner, they were always trying something new. They were always evolving and looking at new avenues to like take the premise, and they had a lot of really cool, and you really should go back and watch them. They have a lot of really cool and really fun and even really weird ideas. Like the first sequel, Beneath the Planet of the Apes, like it introduces like a literal doomsday cult that's underground of irradiated humans that are like worshiping a nuclear bomb. It's pretty crazy. Those movies eventually got rebooted back in 2011, all the way back in 2011, with Caesar marvelously played by Andy Serkis, and that really kicked off really something fun, especially when Matt Reeves got in the director's chair, because man, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes is a high watermark, even still today. Like that movie is 10 years old, and it looks like it could have come out last weekend. It's still so good, still a real benchmark for all modern blockbusters, I think. But now that Caesar is passed, and now that Matt Reeves is off Batmaning, and the apes now live in a PC world that is post-Caesar world, we now focus on Noah. He's a young ape in a village that lives in a village that raises eagles. And we now have Wes Ball in the director's chair, who is most famous for directing the Maze Runner movies, and is also apparently attached to direct a live-action Legend of Zelda movie. I honestly might have a little bit more faith in that, because I thought Kingdom was fantastic. I like this a lot. Man, sometimes it's just a big relief seeing a long-running franchise show that it still has some gas in the tank. And first things first, this movie is gorgeous. Like, wow. Like, even really continuing the same like consistency in the VFX technology and the performance capture too. This isn't motion capture. This is performance capture. You really every time these movies like bring us in close with the apes. I mean, like, bring us in close with the apes. I'm so amazed at how real they feel. When I look into their eyes, I feel their soul. These are soul, and they're so well performed too. Even beyond, like, Andy Serkis, of course, like, deserves all the flowers in the world for his work as Caesar. But man, everyone here is really delivering, and you can feel so much of that too. And I like to think I have a good eye for spotting what is and isn't CG. There are a lot of moments where I genuinely couldn't tell like what was shot on location and what wasn't, and I think that's sort of what really helps elevate these movies, and Kingdom especially. There's so much on location shooting, like there's actually there in these forests, and all of these like forest torn and decrepit like remnants of a human world that they just feel. There's such a great real paint. They like look painterly, and they still have a real the word I'm looking for, verisimilitude. You know, it feels like that it exists of its own world. There's a tactility to them, and man, like the rain effects and the water effects on these apes, incredible, incredible. Like, yeah, I think it's some of the best, like, big budget digital filmmaking since Avatar. Yeah, since Way of the Water, because I didn't know Wes Ball really had something like that in him. There's so much confidence in the way this is shot and the way that like the effects are captured, and I was just like blown away the entire time. Just it still looks so good. But yeah, this honestly would have like probably would sweep a lot of technical awards if it didn't come out the same year as Doom 2, which is also phenomenal. But as far as the story goes, we follow a young ape, Noah, and as I said, his village raises eagles, and then his village is attacked by raiding apes and like this mean gorilla, and they get captured, and he journeys out to save them. Pretty standard hero's journey. But what I think really shows what this franchise does, the way that it keeps evolving, the interesting avenues of it, is that this movie introduces these really intriguing ideas about how these apes and how the ape society sort of reflect on and follow through on Caesar's legacy. And some of them don't engage with it at all. And there are other characters like Raka, the really good orangutan. By the way, if you've watched the Planet of the Apes movies, some of the best characters are orangutans. Always fun to look at. Like Maurice from the Caesar trilogy, always gotta love Maurice. If nobody got me, I know Maurice got me. Anyway, now Raka, he's something of a religious believer of Caesar. He tries to keep the true word of Caesar and his law and the laws of ape civilization that he built on true, because there are other apes like the big bad mamma jamma of the movie Proximus. And ooh man, this guy is a bastard, because and he just so loves being this big bad he literally thinks he's like Julius Caesar. And what's interesting about Proximus is that in as sort of like an almost clear contrast to Raka, Proximus does follow the word of Caesar, does take the word of Caesar and the teachings of Caesar and the myth of Caesar and uses it, bastardizes it to enslave other apes. Whereas Raka's is used more to like embody and empower ape civilization. Apes together strong. Ape no kill ape. But Proximus, he's oh god, he's so good, because he sees such an opportunity, and he sees just the power that wielding a legacy like Caesar's can use, and how that can be weaponized to his own end. And man, this guy's he's one of the best characters of the franchise, I think. He's wonderfully performed too. It's Kevin Durand who's playing him, and he's really livening it up and like chewing the scenery, but he's like also like still like thoughtful and intimidating a lot of the time too. And Noah is he's played by an Owen Teague, and he's a very innocent. He's the kind of like young protagonist that like feels like he has a lot to prove and has to like puts a lot on his shoulders. You know, he's definitely like got that spirit of Caesar in him. But at that same time, they also introduced a human element. There's this human girl named May that adds an interesting mix later on in the movie that I'm not entirely sure about, and I'm not sure how I fully feel about May herself as a character, mostly because I think she has probably the weakest performance, especially compared to the other apes, because like all of the ape performances, they're so well realized. They feel so true and again soulful. But May, she kind of feels like she's not quite bland, but she does feel like the odd one out. And I do think, and as far as like the like element that it introduces, it sort of raises a few questions about like how long it has been since the time of Caesar. But that being said, I was pretty with it, because I think this movie was like, half of this movie does feel like a confident step forward of like, we still got this, we can still do it, we still have places to go. And I do want to give it credit, because like where it leaves off, it gives me a lot of questions, not the kind of like world-breaking questions of like how does this happen and whatnot, but it does lead to like, oh, this could get really interesting kind of way. It does. It's like, and it's that sort of like it's giving me that anticipation that a good beginning should feel. And I'm really excited to see where this goes. Now, I do think that this movie does tend to suffer a little bit from some pacing hiccups, and mostly because the storytelling itself just kind of feels more like a and then this happened, and then this happened, and then this happened. But to its credit, there is such a really strong sense of energy to it that it never really like feels like it's overstaying its welcome. Like it's always like keeping moving to that next thing that happens. Like it's like 2 hours and 25 minutes. It's a little bit longer than War of the Planet of the Apes, but I feel like so much more happens than in War. And man, yeah, I was really impressed. I was thrilled. I thought it was an absolute smorgasbord feast for my eyes. This movie looks scrumptious, and I could feel all of it too. And yeah, I just think this was a fantastic blockbuster, a real sign that not only does Wes Ball have it, but this franchise still keeps evolving. And I'm so impressed that the Planet of the Apes movies are pretty consistent that way. Yeah, like, and seriously, you really should watch the original Planet of the Apes movies. Like, they're all on Hulu if you have them. Even the Tim Burton remake, which didn't pan out so well. But yeah, I thought I was just really impressed the entire time. I thought all the performances were really good. Like Kevin Durand, again, it's just a real big baddie. Owen Teague, Noah, he's a real sweetheart. And he has these two friends, Corina and what was his name? Oh no, Anaya. Okay, I had a brain fart there. But also Raka, loved him. He's played by Peter Macon, who, if you've watched The Orville before, he's Bortus. And wow, Raka's really fun. And man, I was just, yeah, I don't know what else to say. I just thought it was really impressive, really fun, and I think the ideas it has about like myth and legacy really had some like interesting food for thought with it as well. So yeah, I think you should really see this, and try to see it in IMAX too. It's totally worth it to see it, because yeah, this is a real fantastic effect, big VFX wonderfest, and yeah, I'm just repeating myself now. I was just really impressed. I really liked it, and I'm just so excited to where this series can go now. So yeah, Caesar's not here, but I really feel the spirit of Caesar, and I'm feeling like a light 8, at the very least. It's wow, this was really impressive. Very. Again, I'm repeating myself. This was great. I love these monkeys. I can't wait to see more. And yeah, comment, like, subscribe. What did you see? What did you think of Kingdom of the Apes? Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. I really just want to say of the Apes whenever I say these titles out. But yeah, very very good movie. Definitely one of my favorites of the year. And yeah, I thought, and that's my review. What's your favorite Planet of the Apes movie? Wouldn't be surprised if you said Dawn. Dawn's really good. So yeah, I'm Zach. I like movies. I have a lot more movies to watch, and I hope you do too. And I will see you later.